Hello! So you'll notice a slightly different setup this time because we're making a rope bridge. So, a couple of things that you're going to notice. First of all is that these are just one object. They are literally just two large sort of cube style things made from the basic default cube. But we want to make a rope bridge going between the two. This will help you to learn some skills that you could use for game design or game development. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to add in a cylinder. I'm going to hit scale, tap S, and hit shift Z so that I don't scale it on the Z axis. So, and then I'm going to move it in edit mode here, up to one side. Raise it up. Next up, I'm going to pull it down, selecting all of it, pull it down a level to about, say, actually I think about here. No, about here is first. Cool. And I'm going to add a modifier, and I'm going to mirror it. Now be on the other side, and I'm going to mirror it on the Y as well. There we go. And those will be the two posts that we're going to do our bridge between. I'm going to make them a bit taller. And that will edit all of them together because they are in a mirror modifier. Perfect. Next up, I want to set the trail that it will follow. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and add a... actually, I'm going to go in and add a cube. I'm going to scale it down, nice and small, and scale it on the X, nice and small. And then I'm going to, looking at where I put these, so I did put them on a line, which is good. Just going to scale it up to meet sort of those lines. That's going to act as a plank. And next up I'm going to set an array modifier. And make it fit curve. I haven't got a curve yet. But now I'm going to add in a Bezier curve. So, I'm going to just balance this out quick so that it's straight. And I'm going to make this fit the Bezier curve. Like that. I'm going to make a small gap in between them so it's like planks. I'm also going to go for the curve, and I'm also going to make that fit the Bezier curve. Now, I should be able to just move this up to here. Move this one across on the x-axis to here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this middle piece here just touch the wall. Now obviously it's a rope bridge, so I'm going to want a middle piece. So with it selected, I'm looking for a subdivide segment. Nope. That one and that one, subdivide, and I got one down the middle. And then I can just press G and Z to pull this down, and it will make the curve that we sort of after. I could scale it up. Obviously I don't want it that big, but gives us a nice curve, and it looks like it's all sort of connected and stuff as well, which is good. Next up, I'm going to go back into the edit mode. I'm probably going to bring this back down to Y0. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some loop cuts here. So I want to have one there, one there, one there, one there, and one there. So next up I am going to select these, and I'm going to put a small bevel, and I'm going to add a double one here, and I'm going to extrude this piece out by a little. So it does that. Delete the face, and on this piece I'm going to delete the counterface. Now that I'll do is, now it looks like they all have something going through them all. So that gives us sort of our rope bridge appearance to it. So they are all separated. Maybe they could be a bit smaller height wise, so I can scale it on the Z. There you go, slightly bit more plank-like. So with that array and curve that we've got there, I could now also add in mesh, cylinder, and then I can rotate this round, scale it, but not on the X when it's quite thin. And now I will rotate it on the X. I'm going to bring it along to about, say, here. Again, this is not exactly an exact science. I want to fit curve, that exact same curve, and I'm going to go fit curve, Bezier curve. As you can see, it's currently directly on the line, which means I want to bring it up in edit mode, up, perfect, maybe down a little bit, brilliant, and then I want to also mirror it across to the Y, so that gives us our little rope pieces, like that, and you'll notice that it flows pretty good. I'm going to put some subdivisions in just so that it can curve a little nicer, maybe a couple more. There we go. So we've got some nice curve going along that rope bridge, but you notice it doesn't actually connect up. And in order to do that, first of all, I'm going to actually move these. I'm just going to actually slot them into place so that they do. Maybe this is a bit wide. Luckily, I can just go into here, scale it on the Y-axis. A little bit more, but tiniest amount. There we go. That gives us this. We're not meeting up on the other end, but that's fine. We can fix that too, because that's all done in the Bezier curve here. There we go. What I'm actually going to do is bring it just about here. Now I'm going to go onto this. Again, I'm just sort of matching things up here, just to make sure it goes in on both edges. Perfect. Next up, I'm going to add in another cylinder. Again, I'm going to scale it down, but not on the Z. I'm going to move it along a bit to be directly underneath one of these. Perfect. And then because I need it to see it, I'm going to go array, curve, Bezier curve. Obviously this is not what I'm after, so first of all I'm going to bring it up. And then I'm going to start separating these a decent amount. And then if I hit these buttons, I am able to actually, it should be, there we go. And then double tap G, I can actually match it to the height. And that should be consistent all the way along. Never having any issues. Perfect. I think I still need to turn this back off quick. Scale it, not on Z. Increase this by a little bit. I essentially want it to match up to perfectly meet into the center of each plank. There we go, and that should be somewhat consistent across all of them, but not perfect, so maybe an extra one. A little bit more. So somewhere between there and there, so let's go in and add in a 5. That's a bit better, maybe a little bit more. That looks about right. And then again, I need to mirror it. Not on the X, on the Y. Perfect. So now this would go into there. I'm going to add in a, we'll use an icosphere for this. You'll notice that we've kept the actual point to almost the same place on all of them. So the origin point is always at that same spot. That is very intentional, because that's why our modifiers will still work. I'm going to put mirror on that as well, both X and Y. And then I feel like I also need a mesh, cylinder, scale it really small. Brilliant. And then in edit mode, I'm going to bring this up. And I'm just connecting this up like that. And then I'm going along sideways to meet that up like that. And what I actually might do is I might even angle it. So it's more like this. And then I'm going to hit mirror, X and Y. And there we go. We have our rope bridge. Now, obviously you can add more to this, or you could tone it down more. But this is basically everything you need. If you wanted to reduce the face count, so obviously we're at 48,000 faces and 109,848 tries. Keep in mind that all of these, I didn't actually change their things, so they could actually be way lower than they are. So let's hit decimate, unsubdivide, and we'll actually just remove some subdivisions, not that many. There, just enough to keep it still having some. And we go to there, and again we could do that here. Decimate, unsubdivide, just remove. So we don't want to remove all of them. And oh, an extra thing you can do with these, and I highly recommend doing it, is let's quickly turn this off. Delete these caps. In the end, this is turn it back on, and then on the array, merge, and this one as well, merge. This one doesn't have much to unsubdivide. This obviously does, and this can be unsubdivided further. And that puts us down to 20,000. We can do this one, decimate, unsubdivide, and this one, decimate, unsubdivide. All we're doing is just removing some of the divisions. And now that has put us down to 19,000 K tries. That would work perfectly fine in a game, although the other one would have worked in the game too, to be fair. And we have our rope bridge. And as you can see, it actually works even if you're running along it. But yeah, that's all you really need for a rope bridge. I hope this was useful, and I hope that you guys like it, and if you do, then maybe I'll start setting out and texturing this and setting it all up, and I'll release it as an asset that anyone who wants it can use it in a video game. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.